We did get some sad news over the weekend, fellas. Unfortunately, Nick Gilbert, the son of Cavs owner Dan Gilbert, passed away after some medical complications with the disease he had been battling, neurofibromatosis, which essentially generated non-cancerous tumors on your skull, your spine, and your back. So really sad news, and it's always tough when you hear something like this. And not to say it's positive, but you see all the tributes come out and the impact Nick made on a lot of lives here throughout Cleveland, especially in the sports community. As someone not as familiar with Cleveland as you guys are, and Brad, I know you work with the team. Mm-hmm. What did Nick Gilbert to you kind of stand for, and what did he mean in the grand scheme of how the Cavs have kind of operated the last couple
Well, first
decades?
of all, my condolences to the Gilbert family, Cavalier family. Nick obviously was a bright spot in what Dan Gilbert was trying to put together here in the organization. Well respected, well liked. And then it really brings back the humanity side of this, right? Because if you're a parent, right, the natural evolution of a parent is that the parent is supposed to pass away before the child, right? And if you're a parent, I can't imagine what the Gilbert family is going through. And Nick had his challenges, of course. We've always been well documented. The fact that a father lost a son, and a family lost a family member, it's got to be devastating, right? Even with a prognosis like Nick had, you think they enjoy waking up seeing him every day, right? Now that's not going to occur, right? And now you take that, and in the recent history, the Gilberts have had their own medical challenges. Dan has had his medical challenges, and I'm just praying for them, because away from anything, away from the Cavaliers, sports, anything, you have the symbiotic relationship between a parent and a child that has just been flipped upside down, and that takes a lot to recover from.
What are your thoughts, Tyvis, as you look at it? I mean, I don't have any, like Brad said, I don't have any children as of now, but you got children, and he said one of the things that was powerful. He said is the natural order of a thing as a father is that you expect your children to bury you, not the opposite way around.
Yeah, I mean, having children, I couldn't imagine, waking up every day, especially because every parent got a thing with their kid. It's a relationship that you build where you wake up and your kid is there. It's always like something fun that y'all do or something just to get the day started, because your kid always wants to. They're like your bright spot of your day. If things is going bad, your kid always has that positive outlook on life, an innocent look on life. So when that's removed and that routine isn't there anymore, like that's tough and something hard to deal with. I mean, everybody knows Nick from, him doing the draft lotteries. I mean, I think we got a couple first picks of the draft when he was present, and he always had that smile. And just who he was, knowing that you're dealing with something health-wise, he still had a smile on his face.
Right.
He still loved life and looked at the positive things in life. And now that that's not there anymore, it's tough for the Gilbert family. So my thoughts and prayers is with them as well, because I can't imagine, if I woke up and my daughters wasn't there one day.
Sometimes we, a lot of people, because, a lot of people struggle and they believe that, because you have money that changes stuff. And just, if you thought that for 1 second, just look at the Gilbert family. Wealth don't buy health. I'm sure Dan Gilbert has enough money to do a lot of things, but just knowing that he does not have enough money to fix his son, or he doesn't have enough money to change his predicament as far as his health. So sometimes I think you got to look at other people's lives and learn something from it and say, you might not have as many resources or tangible things that they got, but that's not the real part of life that really count. It's your relationships, and can you wake up and see people. And I want to thank him, because for a lot of people, they give Dan Gilbert a lot of grief. But I want to, the best parts of my life as a sports fan was because he delivered. Like, when his son was up there, I remember it like it was yesterday. Like, they took us through an arc. Like, it was You know, we had LeBron and we was winning 66 games and he left. And it was dead. Like, it was like businesses went out of business. Like, all of that. Like, people didn't go downtown. It was just like, that era was so dead when you talk about the Browns and the Guardians and the Cavs. But I will always remember I was working in a call center, making calls for DirecTV. And I remember when they said the Cavs got their pick again. The Cavs got the #1 pick. And people went crazy not because it was the #1 pick. We was like, yo, we was so crazy that we knew LeBron was coming back that we needed that pick to even make it happen. And guess what? As far-fetched as it sounded, as far-fetched as it was a storybook because it happened. They got Kyrie. And then they went and got, they got Anthony Bennett. And we like, oh, we screwed now. We got that first pick again. And then they came back and said, they got the #1 pick again. They're going to take Wiggins. I said, we got it. LeBron coming back. It's a wrap. And sure as day, the article comes back, but I will always remember Nick because he was the face of that. We just felt like you put him out there, we getting the #1 pick, right? We about to get that pick. Look at this, man. It's crazy, man. Like the chances. And so Dan Gilbert's family has given me an opportunity and a lot of people just to rejoice because I know I'm not the only one that say this. I cried so tough when the Cavs won the championship because I felt like it was insurmountable. There was no way LeBron should have even been there. There was no way we was beating the best team ever. And guess what? Every day I look at it and I go watch that and I say, man, I appreciate Dan Gilbert's family for giving me the opportunity as a sports fan.